Was talking with somebody the other day, and I explained to them that 5 years is nothing in a man's life. And I see a lot of these dating and relationships podcasts, and guys are still going back and forth with women. I understand the money aspect of it and the content, the entertainment aspect of these conversations. We saw it with the Kevin Samuels shows, we saw it all these other shows. But the only thing that works is when men just don't participate. And sometimes the choice is very, very, very simple. None of the above. That means do all the things in your personal life that brings excellence to yourself. But you can choose none of the above. And the men that have self-esteem, they just won't participate beyond anything that just satisfies their personal or physical needs. You're not on any time clock or any biological clock. 5 years is nothing in a man's life. If a guy that's 21, he'd be 26 in 5 years. Even an old dude like me, I'm 51 right now, 5 years or whatever else, I'll be 56. Still old, but I'm past all that relationship nonsense. Done that. Grown kids, married, all that stuff. Did all that crap. But 5 years? For us, it is what it is. We could be working on self-development, improving ourselves, working on our money, doing things, focusing on our passions and our hobbies and our purpose. Time is on your side. I mean, time is very important. We don't want to waste any time. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about productive things with time. But that's their problem. If certain women, I always give exceptions to the 10% women, salute to you, good women, want to be a certain way, why would you even argue or debate with them? Let these wild horses run free. Period. I don't push back against none of that shit. If I see a 304 or whatever else, say be a 304, but be honest. The worst is the scammers. Like I say, I have a deep regard and respect for honesty. Stop shaming. If they're 304 and they're honest 304 or worker or whatever else, and they're honest about what they're doing, fine. That's that. I don't agree with it. I'll support. I don't have to support or agree with it, but never shame. See, when you shame the truth, you're asking to be lied to and scammed. That's not a problem. I see it. That's what it is. You go. It's like going to one of those bars in, one of these red light districts or whatever. What you see is what you get. Not that I recommend any of this stuff. My problem was with the scammers. A 304 that goes to the church and pretends to be a virtuous, righteous woman and try and charge a man marriage MSRP. Now that's a scammer. Or somebody that's trying to, gaslight value or get some guy who she wouldn't date when she was 21 in her prime, charge him marriage MSRP after she's been with 45 guys before them. Oh, this, he's different for you. Goofy shit like that. That's the problem I have. Not me personally, but I really don't care either way, like I said. But a lot of dudes out here still lecturing these women. I will say something to the younger women, but these leftover women, hell no. Let these wild horses run free. The younger women that have been unspoiled by, getting completely destroyed on these campuses or out here with sexual liberation, I will say something to them. I have hope for the young people. But the older people, these old women, especially over 30, especially the old one my age, with salt and pepper in their beaver and then on their head, hell no, kick rocks. You're running a scam. It's about the money at this point. The missing ingredient is the money and the security. You don't care about no what? What? You're gonna be different for guy number 30? Kick rock nonsense. Anyhow, that's bullshit. I don't even listen to that stupid shit. It's just intellectual. It's insulting intellectually. Intellectual masturbation or some shit. They're feeding you nonsense. You look in their eyes, they stop it. You're running a scam. You're trying to get that retirement plan or whatever else from some guy who worked hard his whole life. Maybe he worked at UPS or works at some place. You wouldn't touch him when he was 21 and you were brand new with no kids. Now you're old and your 401k and your whatever else is short that money. And you want that extra income to take you into your golden years. But you don't even like that dude. And as soon as he signed that contract with you, he'd be living in disrespect. That's the ones that I try and warn guys about. But anyhow, moving forward, the men that have self-respect will just walk away. They're not going to argue. They're not going to debate. They're going to listen. And if a woman is not going to add any value to his life, or she's just going to come with the take care mentality, because what happened to now with the economy, with the politics, the removal of all these programs, the DEI, the affirmative action, and all these automation and jobs getting lost and all that stuff, inflation, the economy, expensive things. I mean, gas is high. That affects everything. And you're talking about, even, like I told before, they take a car to get it repaired now. You're $150 to $200 an hour in labor for a car repair. So imagine other things with labor. It's expensive. Rents are still high. Cost of living is still high. That's high. And that's putting a stranglehold and starting to make individuals, especially women, reassess this dating relationship. Like, now you can't find a feminist anywhere. And I was going to put them on the back of a missing person carton. You can't find them. You'd be like, what? Feminist who? Because they want that money. Because they will choose survival. Period. But they're still arrogant because they're indoctrinated. For certain guys, they're arrogant. And they still are in the phase of relationships on their own terms. They still believe in all this emotional intelligence garbage where they want men to be like their female girlfriend, sitting around listening to their feelings. That's what emotional intelligence means. That means you sit around like a bitch and become a woman, listening to women's problems all day long, living in your feelings. That's what they want you to do. Men are supposed to have emotional discipline. Discipline, that control of their temper, it's a level of stoicism to themselves. That's what men are supposed to have. And that's what be sitting around with their Hollywood fantasy. There's women that try to get men into these Hollywood fantasy of these weak, jelly-back men they put on screen. And that's what they try to do. And men that are men, they got to understand, you see, they've been pushing sameness of gender feminism for so many years, of men and women are the same or equal. We're absolute polar opposite and different. We have a different purpose and existence on this planet. And the more a man acts outside of his masculine nature and get feminized, the more it turns them off. So you give women what they need, not what they want. What they want is not what they need. Unless you're goofy and think that you giving them what they want is going to get you outcome with them. You give them what they need, and you will always have women around you. You give them what they need. Don't matter, they can flop like a fish out of water. What they're doing and what they're saying in their emotions versus what that psychologically and internally what's going on inside of them, they're going to always migrate towards strength and power. Strength and power, discipline, stoicism, purpose, competency, especially for competency, and resources. They're going to always migrate towards that. No matter what they say about these feelings and emotions and shit like that, strong men will always have options for women, especially when they're disciplined and they have resources and they have leverage and options. They will always have options for women, period. But moving back to what we're talking about, they want relationships on their own term now. What is that? They're fishing for a simp that he looks decent enough so we can get past the girls' club. They'll say, okay, well, he's halfway, the boys walking type thing. But he has good resources and good retirement plan, whatever else. He looks good enough that she can have sex with him. But the real selling is his resources and his money. He has good stuff like that. So they're looking for those types of guys, right? That's who they're looking for in this market right now, because it's about survival for them. And are they going to respect that guy in the long term? Hell no. But that's what they're doing. So they're looking for relationships on their own terms. Over the guy that they want, they're still trying to, negotiate in a way, or try to get relationships on their own terms. That's why we have this epidemic of post-nut clarity regret from the men, because when a man really finds out what she hasn't really done any changes, just a superficial bait and switch, where she tries to act the part of a woman that is a traditional, has certain values, until she feels comfortable and gets some security or feels safe or whatever else. And then that radical feminist ideology just comes to the surface. And that selfish, self-centered, me take, when she tries to modify a masculine man with high self-esteem into a man bitch by chipping away at his foundation with her chisel, or manipulating things. It's like the death of 1,000 small razor cuts. And she tries to bring his masculinity down to, a man that she absolutely is turned off by. That's what's going on out here. The manipulation, bait and switch type thing in terms of relationships, where they're coming in under certain financial duress, and they're trying to transform a man into that same image of a egalitarian, Hollywood style, emotional tampon. And that's what guys got to be careful with. It's all economic duress, and you almost got to tell them, knock that shit off. I ain't your bitch. You see, I don't want to hear about all that problems. Talking to me about your job all day long, talking to me about your friends and what's going on with your cousins and who's going on with this family member, that family member, all day long. There's nothing wrong with talking about small issues and problems, but this is not, I don't live a soap opera life. I'm not listening to that bullshit. This is not a soap opera. I don't want to hear about that shit. Period. They ain't gonna make me no money, and it ain't gonna add no value to my life. That I despise listening to gossip in other people's problems. Period. I don't live life sitting around listening to other people's problems. You gotta tell the women that. You gotta tell them, look them right in their pupils. Look, I live a peaceful life. I focus on my problems and my issues, and with the things that I gotta do for me. I can't be living in nobody else's house or anybody else's life. So what's going on with your cousin or your uncle or your friend and her problems ain't none of my damn business, and I don't want to hear about it. You have to tell them that shit, because otherwise they will saturate your life with bullshit. It's like, well, I'm out here, I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to get her done. I ain't trying to listen to nobody's problems or no gossip. You got to square them away with that shit from the beginning. And if they don't want to do that shit, once again, if they don't want to listen, guess what? You can choose none of the above. None of the above. Unless you're just desperate and broke and destitute. I understand people have feelings and emotions, and there's love and all that stuff like that. But what good is all that if you're going into the grave because somebody has stressed you out? Raise your cortisol level. Added problems to your life. You see, you take care of those who take care of you. And if you're going to be around somebody, your life should be lighter. If you're with somebody, life should be easier than what you are when you are alone. If life is harder than when you're alone, well, shit, you didn't add an asset. You just added a liability. Because now you got to listen to all this bullshit that don't change and don't do nothing for your life. Nothing. I used to say that to people all the time. They'd get all worked up around election time and all that other shit like that. And I always ask them, what changed in your damn life since this person or that person or this person or whatever? Ain't nothing changed unless you do some shit for your own personal life. Nothing changes in your life. Would it be with money? Would it be with exercise? Would it be getting in shape, your diet, your health, your mental health? Nothing changes until you do something yourself. Nothing. Nothing changes. The world is always going to have problems. But nothing changes for you as an individual unless you do something that makes it change for you. But anyhow, getting back to the topic, and I always say this, these debates and these arguments and I don't debate none of these people. For what? Why? It's like negotiating with feminists or something. That's like negotiating with terrorists in my mind. Why are you talking to them about what they supposed to be for you? Or just go somewhere else or find somebody that's what they want, that's what you want, what you feel comfortable with being. These dudes be lecturing these women, and especially these 304s. You know, I think, what's the guy named? Minister Jap said that stuff. If Jesus can't save these 304s, who the hell are you? It's actually disrespectful to Jesus for you to even try to save some of these broads. They can't be saved. Stop it. What the hell do you think you're going to do? You're going to tell them something new and enlightenment that Kevin Samuels didn't tell them? Malcolm X, the men before you, there's been many men that have fell on the sword. The only thing that really is changing this dating relationship market, not completely yet, is the economy. All that running off at the mouth meant nothing. Meant absolutely nothing. You know what changed things? Economics. The rest. Not getting rid of all them damn government programs. Men were sponsoring their own disrespect. They were voting for their own disrespect. How many people you see running around now talking about what is a man? What isn't a man? All that radical talk they was doing before. They can't afford that conversation. That's why. You know, they say weak men create soft times, and you know the saying. But that's what we did. Guys were creating their own suffering. But once all these, I mean, you're going to have to work anyhow as a man. No matter what, who's in power, you're going to have to work your ass off. So why would you support policies that create an environment for you to be disrespected? So somebody can go and get a whole bunch of basket weaving degrees and look down on you and disrespect you. Why would you create that environment of disrespect as a man and then complain about the disrespect? You're going to have to work regardless. So if I'm going to be out here in the Serengeti working, I'm not going to let a disrespectful person have an easy life. They get their ass out here and work too. You want to talk crap? Go work. Period. And it's easy to create that environment with policy. That's not hard. You already know. You can fill in the blanks for what I'm saying. And that's something that men got to think about. Stop supporting your own disrespect. You know, you can disrespect me all you want from a distance, but not on my dime. I won't be funding it. I'm not funding you to disrespect me. Kick rocks. Anyhow, that being said, I got to get inside this gym, do some upper body today and some cardio and get my work going, get my day started. Just the beginning early in the morning, up, stay motivated. Again, nobody takes care of you like you, for the gentlemen. But men are just going to walk away. Debate, argue. What are you doing? For what? To achieve what goal? That's what I always ask. They don't give rat's ass about what you say, but they sure care about what you do. And what dudes have been doing is, in terms of when it comes to that aspect of things, laying flat, not taking part in this stuff, not taking some of these women out on dates, not getting in relationships with them, not marrying them. And many dudes have been leaving them on the side of the road, changing tire. That works. I'm not recommending anything more than you flapping out at the mouth, because then again, you sound like a desperate man begging somebody to be something that you want them to be. And that's not what they want to be. So what are you doing? You're flapping your lips for what? Let them run free. Let them crash out on their own. Let them save themselves. That ain't your problem. Your issue is to be the best man you can be for you. For you. That means you're doing things proactively to improve your life. Period. You know, let them do what they do on their own. That ain't your problem, man. That's their problem. Time affects them a whole lot different than it affects you. It does affect you, but it affects them a whole lot different than you. And especially if you out here, you're saving your money, you're investing your money, you're keeping debt down, and you're staying squared away. Because it doesn't matter. You could be making $70,000 a year and they're making, or $60,000 a year, and they're making $150,000. Their needs is just, that money just evaporates out of their hand. While you can own your car outright, own your house, own your stuff, and have no credit card balances and low debt, and living a great and wonderful life. Numbers on paper versus reality is two different things. The real world, Something breaks on my car, I fix it. I have to go to the shop and pay $150, $200 an hour. I go right over there, I order, get a part, and I have all the tools at my house. I fix it. It's just that simple. I don't have to pay $200 unless it's something really deep, or, I need a certain equipment to take care of it, but I fix it myself. They can't do that like that. They can, but they won't. So this society is this is their problem. We can figure out ways around this. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. More content coming your way. I'm out.